Shavasana, so laying down with your head facing me. And today we are closing out part 1 of our Beyond the Pose series. So we'll be moving into part 2, which is the Niyamas of yoga, starting next week. But today we are talking about practicing Aparigraha, which is the art of letting go. So in life, we tend to grasp to things, cling to things, especially if we are feeling a significant change in our life, when something's suddenly shifting. We tend to grab onto things even tighter, to hold on to what we think is going to make us feel secure and protected. So this practice of Aparigraha asks us to remember that the joy in life is not dependent on grasping or holding on to, but remembering that what we possess possesses us, and what we hold on to holds on to us. So throughout today's practice, I invite you to think about something that you can't let go of, something that maybe you're holding on to. It could be a thought about yourself, about your practice, maybe a thought about someone else, a story that you've told yourself about a situation. And see if you can begin to unravel the threads of that story. See if you can loosen your grasp a little on that and come into a place where we're opening our heart to knowing that letting go is creating space for something good, maybe something better that's waiting to fill that void once we let go. Begin by scanning from the top of your head to your toes, noticing any areas of tension. See if you can bring awareness to your hips in contact with the floor. Notice some tension there and let them relax and melt, as with your shoulders, maybe the back of your neck. Become aware of your breath and begin to set that intention for maybe something that you would like to let go of today. Begin to settle in. And then when you're ready, meet me in a seated position facing me. Our sit bones rooted into the earth. Maybe move our fleshy parts out of the way. Feel connected. Spine nice and long. And we'll just begin with some wrist circles to start. Just start breaking up that stuck, stagnant energy. Maybe rolling the shoulders or extending the arms out. Just start to feel into your body. Let your body guide you. Notice any spots where you're holding tension, any tightness in your shoulders. Just loosening up all that energy that we're holding on to, maybe from our day that we brought with us here. And imagine it just flicking off your fingertips. Just flick it away. Throw it out. Get rid of it. And same thing with our ankles. So hands behind you, fingertips towards the back of the room. Just doing some circles with your ankles, pointing the toes, flexing the feet. Little stretch. Feeling into all those tiny muscles in your calves. Our ankles are often really tight. I don't know if you've ever just taken a moment to massage your own ankles at the end of the day. Just feeling that tension there. They're holding us up, they're rooting us into the earth, they're keeping us secure and grounded throughout the day, and they don't get a lot of love. So just giving some love to our ankles, maybe shaking out the legs to break up some energy too. Whatever feels good to you, just feeling into our bodies, where we need to let go today. Where should we send our breath? Meet me in tabletop for cat-cow. Using a blanket for support on your knees. If you have any knee sensitivity, take care of those knees. They're part of your roots. Knees stacked underneath the hips. Wrists stacked under the shoulders. Spread the fingertips nice and wide, gripping the mat with your fingertips. On an inhale, gaze comes up, belly drops, tailbone rises. Exhale, round the spine, tucking the tailbone, draw the gaze towards the navel. Inhale, drop the belly. Close your eyes and begin to tune in. Feel into your spine. Release the energy from the spine. All those spaces, imagine them, each space between your vertebrae, that spinal fluid moving through as you move. Move with your own breath. Maybe bring the hips side to side. Maybe look back at it. Stretching the spine all the way from the crown to the tailbone. Whatever movement you're called to do today to release energy. Release thoughts, feelings that are stuck. Maybe let your head hang heavy and just let it flow side to side, releasing the neck a little. Being very gentle with our movements in our body here as we ease into our practice. About 5 more breaths at your own pace. Maybe coming back through center to the traditional cat-cows and just noticing how you feel after moving with your body. And walk the knees forward, coming back to, you can do a little toe stretch here if you want to tuck the toes, and you can keep your hands planted on the mat or come up to a kneeling position if that feels good to you, or untucking the toes if it becomes a little too much. Placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly here. Just notice your breath. Close your eyes. Notice where your breath is right now. Notice any rehearsing or rehashing of the day that's going on in your mind. These cycles of thought that keep us busy, but keep us immobile. We get stuck here, get stuck in the negative thought train, the what if this, what if that. See if you can quiet that mind just for a few minutes here. Notice if your shoulders are up by your ears, invite them to release down your back. Relax the jaw. Maybe bring a little smile to your face. And release the hands, open the eyes. We will move into a dangling pose, which is our only standing pose in yin. So bringing the feet hip distance apart, you can come to your blocks in front of you if you'd like for a little extra support if you're feeling a little unbalanced or unsure of yourself right away. Or grab opposite elbows and just let your head hang heavy. Bend the knees as much as you need, or use the blocks for support and let your head hang heavy. Rooting through the soles of our feet into the earth. Allow the spine to decompress, the crown of your head towards the earth. Imagine your mind emptying out anything that is stressing you out right now. Anything that's been running through your mind today, let it go. Imagine just your crown of your head opening up to the earth and allow that to release. Let go of it. You can kind of rock side to side, lifting the heel as you come to the opposite. Feeling in, maybe bending the knees more and then extending the leg. And bringing your block behind you, turning the toes outward, come down into Malasana, supported here on the block. Just sit down. Yep. Toes pointed out. You can also do this without a block if you'd like. Elbows to the insides of the knees, palms together, heart center. A sense of pushing your knees apart gently and opening the heart center. Opening the space up to whatever's coming for you. You're releasing this energy, you're trusting and loving, knowing the universe is here with you, guiding you. Tune in to the heart center, back to your intention that you set. You all look beautiful. I love it. Three more breaths here. Really tune in. And in whatever way you are called to, remove the block, whatever works for your body, coming into a butterfly pose. So seated with our soles of our feet together. They can be wherever you need them to be. Play around. Maybe you want them somewhere different today. They can be closer to the groin, further out. Wherever you have them creates a different sensation. Spine nice and long. Starting in this upright position. Hands can be maybe on your ankles. Maybe give them a little love. Little massage here. Maybe the soles of your feet. Feel free to place blocks underneath your knees. If you'd like to bring the earth plane a little closer to you. We're creating this bowl of space around us right now. What do you want to fill your bowl with? I want to fill mine with love. If you'd like to walk the hands out and let your head hang heavy here, feel free to do so, or you can stay in the upright position. There's no right or wrong here, just what feels good. On the inhale, if you've rounded your spine here, coming forward, gently walk the hands back, coming back to that upright position. And pausing here for a moment. We'll move into melting heart. I highly suggest using blocks, if anything, just because the floor is a little hard on your elbows. Using a blanket for support on your knees, a little cushioning. Knees stacked underneath the hips, and placing the blocks towards the front of your mat, about where you'd want your elbows to be. You can always make adjustments, walking the hands out. Elbows come to the blocks or to the mat. Palms together. You can tuck the toes here or have the tops of the feet to the mat. Maybe you need to walk them in. Then allowing the chest to come through the shoulders. Opening up to the earth. Nice little stretch for the back side of our heart center here. Opening our heart up to the earth, allowing space to let go of anything that's weighing heavy on your heart right now. Maybe there's someone or a situation that's difficult. Maybe you're grieving something or someone. Create the space here to let go of that, whatever it is. With each exhale, releasing a little more. If this becomes a little too intense, remember everything I say is a suggestion, and feel free to take another posture that you feel more comfortable in. But also remind yourself, you can do hard things. As long as you're not in pain and it's maybe slight discomfort, see what it's like to stay there. Explore it. Last breath. And gently coming out of this pose, bringing the toes together and knees width of the mat, finding a wide-legged child's pose, walking the hands out, and letting your forehead come to the earth or to a block. Allow the hips to sink down. You can come to the forearms or walk the hands out a little more for a deeper stretch in the shoulders. Gaze comes up towards the hands. Walk the hands over to the left corner of the mat, staying in child's pose, crossing the right hand over the left. A little lateral stretch, opening up the ribs on the right side body here. Breathe into this space. Feel all of those little intercostal muscles opening and expanding. Gaze comes back up, walking the hands through center over to the right side now. Left hand over the right, opening up the left side body. See if you can sink that left hip just with your mind. Imagine it drawing closer to the earth. Walking the hands back through center and then gently walking all the way back. Coming into tabletop, we'll move into swan or pigeon on the right side. So drawing that right knee towards the front of the mat. Your shin, your bottom part of your leg can be wherever it needs to be. It's helpful sometimes to use a block underneath the right hip or underneath the hip on the side that you're working on. Just for some extra support, brings the earth a little bit closer to you. Sometimes it can help facilitate maybe getting your shin a little more parallel to the front of the mat, but that is not the goal. The goal is to find where this pose feels good to you. Hands pressing away from the mat, away from the earth. Roll the shoulder blades down the back. Gaze can come between the hands here. And if you feel called to or would like to lower down to blocks or down to the mat, resting your forearms there, feel free to do so. If you get there and decide it's not where you want to be, feel free to back out. Last breath here. And release any props, Gently come out of this pose. Maybe take a brief child's pose before moving to the left side. Left knee comes forward, using any props you need. Starting in this upright position, releasing the shoulders down the back, connecting with the earth. Notice the stories you've started to tell yourself. These more challenging poses or poses that create more sensation in our bodies can sometimes bring up stories for us. I'm not doing this right, or I should be able to do this differently, or look at the person next to me, they're doing something different, and let them go. Let the stories go. If you'd like to lower down, if your body is inviting you to go deeper, feel free to do so. Last breath here. Gently come out of the pose in whatever way is intuitive to you. We'll move into a supine twist. So this is a twist laying on your back. If that's not comfortable for you, you can also do an easy seated twist with right hand coming to the left knee. And coming down to the mat. Feel free to put your blanket underneath your lower spine here, if that feels good. And feet hip distance apart and feet to the mat. Begin by just rocking the knees side to side here, kind of warming up our spine a little before we start. Then coming back through center, press through the feet, lifting the hips gently up and to the left. Dropping them back down and letting the knees fall to the right here. Make any adjustments you need to make. Bringing the arms out to a T, gaze comes over the left fingertips here. It may feel good to you to place a block between your knees. Play around with your props, find what works for you. And on the inhale, draw the knees back up through center, shifting the hips, releasing any props. Maybe pull the knees in towards the chest, grabbing wherever you can, shins, back of the legs, clothing. Just giving ourselves a little hug here, maybe rocking back and forth, a little massage for our lower back. Then dropping the feet back down, hip distance apart, pressing through the soles of the feet, lifting the hips now, shifting them to the right side of your mat and letting the knees fall to the left. Arms out to a T, and gaze comes over the right fingertips here. When we do these spinal twists, I like to think of it like I'm wringing out all of my stress or tension, or maybe things that I ate that weren't great, wringing it out, detoxing. If you'd like to use an affirmation here, maybe I release what no longer serves me. I release what no longer serves me. Inhale, drawing the knees back up through center. Hips shift back to the middle of the mat, drawing the knees in again. Little squeeze here. And dropping the feet back down. We'll move into a figure four stretch. So leaving your feet about hip distance apart, soles of the feet to the mat. Bring your right ankle to the top of your left knee. Alicia, I'll have you use the bolster. And we can just stay here. Maybe placing the right hand on the inside of the right thigh and gently inviting your knee to move towards the back of the room. Tucking the chin in towards the chest slightly, creating a little bit of space in our cervical spine here, stretching the back of the neck gently. If you would like to move to a different variation of the pose, feel free to draw, leaving your legs crossed as they are, drawing that left leg towards the chest and interlacing the fingers behind the left thigh here. Or you can stay exactly where you are. And release, unwind, bringing the feet back hip distance apart, and maybe just windshield wiper the knees back and forth here, nice and gentle. Imagine those femur bones just rotating back and forth, nice and slow. If there's any sticky spots, maybe pause there for a moment. And coming back through center, now crossing the left ankle behind the right knee here. If it feels good to you to place your left hand on your left thigh and guide it towards the back of the room gently, feel free to. If that's not good for you, then don't. If you'd like to reach through, drawing the legs up towards the chest, feel free to. Slowly unwinding here. I would like to provide some space here as we're at the end of the month for you to take any final posture in this next few minutes. Anything that feels good to your body, something we did earlier, something from a different class. Maybe you just want to stretch. Maybe you want an extra long shavasana, so you're going to take this time to get comfy and find a place where you want to be, where you want to rest. If there's something that you're wanting assistance with, maybe an area that you're still feeling tension and you'd like me to show you a pose that may assist you in relieving that, feel free to ask me. I'd be happy to help. If you'd also like any additional blankets or supports to help you in your final shavasana, I'd be happy to bring them to you as well. Okay, go ahead and find your final Shavasana. If you'd like to extend your legs out, take up some space on your mat, space around you. And let your feet fall open, maybe palms facing up to receive energy, palms facing down to ground. Allow your body to become heavy and supported here. With each exhale, letting go of any shape of the breath, letting your breathing become more normal. And begin to scan from the top of your head slowly through your physical and your energetic body here. Notice this is where we started. This is where we began our practice today. Notice how you feel here compared to earlier. Are there any spaces physically or energetically that you have cleared, that you've made room in? Anything you've released? Those places that may have felt tight before, maybe a little more relaxed now. Begin to deepen the breathing, wiggling the fingers and toes, coming back into our bodies, and in whatever way is intuitive to you, making your way to a seated position facing me. On an inhale, big stretch and circle. Sweep the arms up overhead. Gaze comes towards the fingertips, palms together. Exhale, hands at heart center. Take a moment to thank yourself for creating space in your mind, in your body today, for being here, for showing up for yourself, for letting go of those stories that you tell yourself about why you can't be here, why you don't want to be here. Find some gratitude in your heart center here. As we close out our part one of this series, working our way through the yamas of yoga, we have hopefully begun the journey of cultivating a more personal relationship with our practice, with our bodies, with our energy, connecting, learning how to practice restraint in some areas to bring us into the present moment. Next week, we will be moving into part 2, into the niyamas with saucha, which is self-purification. We'll be working on some techniques to purify our bodies through breath work, through asana, through personal practices in our day-to-day lives. I hope that you'll join me and continue to deepen your practice with me. I appreciate you allowing me to be your guide, to be your teacher, and to help you find that guide and teacher within yourself. Another inhale through the nose, nice cleansing breath. Hold at the top. Exhale, sigh it all out. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. Sat Nam, everyone. May you vibrate as your true self.